Yeah, what's up, everybody? Back to Raiders, Celtics, and everything else. Gonna be reacting to today's presser. I know we're not gonna really learn much other than just BS stuff that they'll probably just say to make us feel better, and probably not even that. We probably can't even expect that. Um, if you don't mind, I'll probably put some music. Oh, if I can. I don't know if I could share. Well, that's okay. I was gonna share some music that I do, but maybe if I can, I will. If I can't, I will do that for another time. Well, that's a lot louder than I thought. I'm not sure if you guys hear that too. Hmm. Oh, what have I created? Okay. All right. Now that will be something for another day then, because that was crazy. I do not have the actual presser streaming from any channel. Unfortunately, I thought, well, actually, I do have. Wait a minute, I do have something on my phone where I can maybe. Let me see. But in the meantime, I'll probably be just reacting to tweets from the presser, from random tweets. I'll start off with this, but this is something that made waves today. Let me fix the door real quick. So this is something that made waves today. Um, the Everyone has to admit whether you're a fan of the Celtics, whether you're a fan of this move or not. The narratives that have been going on have been crazy regarding this trade, regarding the status of the Celtics, and they're all over the place. So much so that it's like hard to even. It's kind of hard to make your own opinion, honestly, on what's going on. I have my opinion, but what I'm trying to say is it's too extreme at this point. I mean, we got people saying JT hates JB. We got people saying the Celtics, they don't know what they're doing. We got others saying they do know what they're doing, and this is a great idea. And or they're saying, what else are they saying? They're just saying so much about like JB and his reason why he's leaving. Now that's a big one, also. Why he's leaving? Did he ask to leave? He didn't ask to leave. That is that is something like, again. Okay, I did actually find it. Oh, but you can't see it. I can. Oh, that's not fair. Unfortunately, I can't rewind. So we are. Okay, let me get back to this later. I am now hearing the stream through my phone. I paused it. So one thing he just said right now, of course, things he has to say. He's the GM or the owner. No one's gonna go up there and just say, "Yeah, we couldn't get anything good, so we just kind of had to do what we had to do." So we're already in this stage where he's trying to defend it, saying that he did get a trade that was worth worth it for the Celtics. Now, um, worth it is that's a big word, right? Because if we're just looking in terms of Paul George, in exchange for Jalen Brown, which is really what you're basing this off of, because that's the face value of it. You're not really thinking about the picks because the picks could be who knows the and especially since it's not even for next year, it's for 2 years and further. 1,000 million things could happen by that time. So it really is, right as of right now, this trade is and will be based off of Jalen Brown versus Paul George. So so for the manager to say we found something that we thought was of value, I mean, what else is he to say, right? He's lying, but let's see what else he says.
I wouldn't say. Um, I'm sure that that was more of my opinion on that day. And I had a lot of time to study, think, and use the expertise of the people in our building, um, and and try to figure out how best to move forward. I know there are salary matching rules, but you talk about how you can't have 70% of the salary cap tied up into these two players. Still do. You still do. That's right. So good follow up. What's next? Yeah, for this? I think the biggest thing is that it's that plus the picks, plus the optionality moving forward. Paul's contract is shorter. He'll have his choice with his player option next year. But I think that, and again, I keep going back to like myself as a kid. Like, I don't want to hear about picks and optionality. I don't. Unfortunately, in my position, that matters. So that's where we are. Can I tell you exactly what's going to happen? No. We're excited about Paul.
Yeah, man. Judging by just what do they say? 80% of the conversation is nonverbal. It really does look like the Brad Stevens kind of basically at the where he's kind of at like this point where he's like just basically admitting, you know what, I did what I could. I couldn't get anything better, and this is where we're at. This is what I'm seeing from his body language. I mean, it's just he's basically admitting that the Paul George for Jalen Brown straight up is just not a strong move. Even though he's obviously saying a few things nice about him, which of course he is.
You can't compare different trades in the NBA because of the landscape and what existed at the time. But you look at, players of Jalen's caliber around the league, like multiple of those guys have been traded in recent years. You look at some of the return packages that have been dished out for those guys. What made this trade in particular the one you wanted to pursue? And then on top of that, I know you mentioned like optionality and stuff.
Okay, very direct, awesome question. Someone said, along with all these other trades that we've seen for different people, what made this particular trade something you pursued? So let's see what Brad says about this. Oh, now it's frozen. Right when I was gonna get possibly a good answer. No. Let's try again.
$4,000
No. So I missed it.
I do think that ultimately, when you do a deal, you have to be thinking about first and the optionality it creates for you. Um, if I was being honest, if that exact deal came from a team out west and you were comparing the two, then you probably take the team out west. But that's not the way it was working.
So he's basically admitting there wasn't
If any
a lot of great trades
limitations you have on his
options.
decision, and after the year that Jalen had, did you think it might be challenging to kind of get them back on the same page they were on 2024 when you made the run to the championship? Do I have a real hard, fast rule that I don't ask other guys about other guys because it's not. I won't put them in that position, and so he had none. Um, with regard to coming back and being really good, I think we could come back and be really good.
I love that he basically shut down this whole. So that's another narrative that is annoying. If someone said this, I don't know where it came from. Someone said if JT wanted Jalen Brown to stay, he would have stayed. JT's a big time guy. He's a borderline superstar. Definitely a star. Definitely loved by the team. Definitely chosen by the team to be the number one guy. But there's a few guys. The one I could think of is just pretty much LeBron that I think has that kind of say. I don't think. First of all, it doesn't really seem like Tatum would be the kind of guy to do stuff like this. And the Celtics as a whole just don't really run their things like this. Now, for grant, I mean, for example, I'm sorry this way. I'm a Raider fan, so I understand there's teams that are not run well. The Raiders are trying; they're getting better. And there was at one point where it was Raiders run so bad that I could see them doing silly, dumb things like this, like listening to their players and whatever. I don't see the Celtics doing that. So I do not believe this was Jason Tatum's decision at all. Like, why would he say that? Let's see. Let's hear a little more.
Does this trade make the Celtics better next year?
Does this trade make the Celtics better?
Can you see how it would be demoralizing for your fan base to believe that it makes the team better next year? That it makes it better. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
pretty sure I bought a couple. So I get it. And, somebody asked me earlier today, do you miss coaching? I said I did this week. I guess this is not for the faint of heart.
Kind of from the outside, the general sentiment was it was almost like understandable to pursue a player like Giannis. Then when that doesn't.
So they said, do you think this will make the team better in the near future? He said, we'll see. I think it doesn't make the team better today. But actually, the we'll see comment is pretty valid. For one, we don't know what next is going to look like. For all we know, Jalen Brown could get hurt. I mean, I'm not saying that. Jason Tatum, he could get re-injured. Anybody could get hurt, right? Anything can happen. So what I'm trying to say is, if they're all healthy, given a situation where they're all healthy, if Paul George is healthy, Jason Tatum is healthy, I actually think Paul George fits better. I'm still saying it was a bad trade. I'm not saying it was a good trade. So this is not me. I'm almost at the point where I'm coping, but I'm not coping yet. Too hard. It was not a good trade. But Paul George, at this stage of his career, where he understands he's not the guy no more, where he understands like his experience is valued more now, where he knows how to pick his shots better now. I was seeing somewhere that let me look this up, especially in the playoffs, because that's the most recent. Paul George 3-point shooting numbers. or 3 point percentage. 2026 playoffs. So this is actually unbelievable. Really good. Okay. He was shooting 49.3. I mean, it was pretty small sample size, what, two series? And he did pretty bad in the second series. Well, at least a lot worse than he did against the Celtics. But this is freaking good. Okay. He averaged 3.2 made three pointers per game across 11 postseason appearances. You put that kind of efficiency next to Tatum, and I'm telling you that's as of now that is pretty good. That is pretty good. Because again, you're not gonna have people like stressed out about, oh my god, I have to guard Paul George, but definitely gonna have some weight off of Tatum's shoulder. But at the same time, you're gonna finally, and me selfishly, big time Tatum fan, finally gonna have that position where Tatum is gonna be the number one guy, like without a doubt. Not a, like maybe, not like oh no, we're gonna have him have to come out every night, like balling, like so. Oh, let me see if I can get any other nuggets.
Like, and again, some of these are reports that were not you, so maybe you can speak to it. But they're getting this like sudden level of urgency. Okay, we didn't get Giannis.
They're bringing in the Giannis ordeal.
They're canvassing the league to do so.
Sorry.
The case, like, was a decision made? We're trading Jalen Brown no matter what. And did you feel like, where your relationship was with him, things become irreparable?
It freezes right when Brad Stevens is going to answer a tough question.
Was any of that a factor?
Oh, and it skipped it.
Whether you felt urgency to move on from him?
It's not a factor in the urgency. I will say we had several talks. If he feels that way, then I'm sorry about that. I am genuinely, because he's a meaningful person in all of our lives, and certainly mine. We, like I said, we had a lot of open discussions about here or elsewhere, and even I would say he, and at least his agent, were well aware of even teams that had the most cursory of interest. So they, at least that was well communicated, or at least communicated. And so we tried to do that to the best of our abilities.
Something he addressed, and again, I'm not gonna fall for like, this is our best interest, and Paul George is still playing at a elite level. I mean, I just showed one great thing that he can bring, and I know he'll help a little bit. What I'm saying is, I'm not gonna get too excited, but at the same time, something that I do think he's being genuine about, Brad Stevens. Jalen Brown kind of went out of his way to say like he was blindsided by all this, which happens a bunch of times, and unfortunately, Celtics and Boston as a whole. I don't know much about baseball, but the Mookie Betts thing, I've heard it was horrible. So he tried to throw that angle, Brown, where he wasn't notified or he wasn't aware that he was going to be moved and all that. So I'm glad he kind of shut that down, because again, that does happen on that, probably that does happen a lot. But someone that was so loved on that team, and Brad Stevens coached him. Brad Stevens say what you want. I'm not happy with him right now. I don't think he's handled this offseason well. He does seem genuine. Okay, the guy you coached and then became manager of. You mean to tell me you're not gonna tell him, talk to him about possibly moving? So I'm glad he did. He already addressed it. He said that they did communicate a lot
further down the line.
about
It's complicated to
him
ultimately
possibly
getting to the
moving,
finish line with any deal. But I'm sorry that he would feel that way.
and he
Now,
feels
with the
sorry.
way everything went, did you feel pressure to, or did you think you would have been able to reconcile those differences with him moving forward, or how did you see that if you had kept him on the team?
So I'm just gonna stop there because a lot of it is and it's probably gonna be this way until the end of the presser, where they're basically just um they're focusing on emotion and how do you feel about him leaving, or how did you feel about having to trade him? Was he mad or sad about it? Um, so even although that's important, I mean, can't spend 20 minutes talking about that. So I'm glad he addressed that it was communicated. I had a feeling it was communicated. I mean, it had to have been. Well, I got one like, I got one viewer. Anybody? My wife probably. I'm gonna like myself. So he faced the music, Brad Stevens. He had to. It was communicated, so that's kind of something Jalen Brown, I guess, was trying to add to the fire. Again, we've learned through Jordan documentary, Shaq. We've learned through different people. Athletes are highly motivated and highly emotional, and I don't blame them for that. So a guy like Jalen is already dealing with kind of stuff like that. I don't. I also don't blame him if he kind of made that up or made it a little bit more than it was. Hey, you got to stay motivated, especially in a competitive environment like that. So I don't blame him for that. But yeah, I had a feeling they weren't gonna do him dirty like that in a sense. Like, okay, so what else can we talk about? So let's talk about this post. It kind of interested me because it was something that was and today. Says the Celtics didn't have contingency plans in place after missing out on Antetokounmpo. They canvassed the league, and this was from what Ban McMahon. Not sure who that is, but I guess he works for ESPN. They canvassed the league at that point for potential trade partners and continues to be extremely aggressive in their proposals, such as for unprotected first round picks. That's a decision that multiple executives said backfired on Boston. I do not believe they didn't have a plan. But what sucks for a guy like me and I'm upset and frustrated with this move. Not frustrated that they traded him, frustrated with what they got is that the plan they had sucked. Okay? It just sucked. It's like some fans have said at this point, it kind of just felt like you might as well should have just given the Bucks what they wanted. Even though, yeah, it would sting a bit like, oh, we love, and trust me, I love Hugo Gonzalez. I don't really want to let him go, but if it meant I was getting jealous, of course I would do it. Now, I even tweeted about that. Someone got raged about me. They didn't understand me. I said, I don't want to let him go. But I said, if it were a deal breaker, then of course I'd make that move. Who wouldn't? Because at this point, look at what happened. We ended up having to settle big time settle. Like someone said, Kessler ended up going for a higher return. I mean, what are we doing? You know. So I'm not saying it was an easy thing to do for Brad Stevens to try to figure something else after that, but that was the that was a situation I think they put themselves in. Hey, we're gonna go for this star. and it's gonna be hard to let go of our star who's struggling with Tatum, and we know it's gonna be impossible to make it work if he stays. Well, we might as well just f- go all into this now. What what not a lot of people want to hear, myself included, but the little hope in me, if you want to call it copium again, the hope in me is they really are. Well, if you can really if you're paying attention to how Brad talks about moves, they're like super hyper focused on this cap thing, the new rule, CBA, the money thing. They're like trying their very best to make sure they're on top of this after that expensive 2024 team, which again sucks. It sucks because it feels like, almost feels like we're the only ones really paying for that, like for that move and for that change. But whatever, there you could tell that's their main focus. So that's a part of this trade that if you put that together, you're like, okay, had to do with that. Of course, you can add in George's contract is big, but it's really just for this year and next year they can get out of it. And another thing is, and now that I've been looking into future drafts, because really, I don't see the Celtics being a contender. Could they have a fun year? Yeah, they could have a decent year, fun year, maybe make playoffs, round one, maybe round two. But okay, so maybe, just maybe, and they are some big time draft people in the Celtics, and they've been drafting pretty well. Not They haven't been able to draft immediate stars because they've been picking so late, but they're amongst a few teams. Like Lakers have been drafting well too. I hate them, but they've been drafting well too, and they've been picking kind of late. There's a few teams, and the Celtics are kind of reminding me of, maybe not at that level because they haven't won as much, and you haven't seen these players get to that point yet, but kind of like the Spurs, where they just kept finding these players and building them. Now again, they're not at that level yet, but what I'm saying is that they got a real strong scouting department. So who knows? I believe they've been really focused and are prepared for that 2028 draft. Now that's not exciting at all. You know, uh, why would we care about that? That's 2 years away. But again, just trying to put the pieces together and just trying to feel a little bit better about the trade. Does it make it? Does it make it right? Not really, but it also adds to going back to this contingency plan tweet and message people are saying, like they didn't have anything after that. Like Celtics don't play like that. They're not run like that. You know, again, maybe the Raiders back then were. They definitely were were late in Al Davis's career, where he was just basically looked like he was winging every decision and undoing every decision, and the Celtics don't do that. So what I'm saying is they're got to be playing the long game. It's not fun for us fans right now, but that's what I think. That's where I think they're at. So that's where I think we're at. Where we're at. The path looked a little bit more challenging to me. I might be wrong, but the path looked a little bit more. Yeah, again. So I think it comes down to two things with Brad Stevens and the Celtics team. From what I've seen, from what I've read, it just really seems like they're focused. There are two things: the cap. They don't want to have two people tied. What is it, tied up to 70% of the cap? Which, yeah, I could see that. And they are, I hope, looking forward to the 2028 draft, which, man, I haven't seen them draft a star since Tatum, pretty much. Jalen Brown before that. So we're overdue for that. I love draft in general, NFL draft, NBA draft. Just I love building through the draft. So again, Celtics are working that cap and they're working towards that future draft. And who has been popping up in that future draft? Well, some guy that over the weekend was making tons of headlines on Twitter and everywhere. What's his name? I'm gonna probably say it wrong, but Joachim Bonte Bondje. Oh God! And is his name twice? I got my wife commenting. Go Celtics. Woo. Let's just before I head out, let's just watch a little bit on this kid, man. This dude look like the real deal. This dude looks like the real deal. I hope this
Inače Australija
becomes the reason why we got that pick in 2028. I hope so.
Inače Australija koja je u danas ranijem protiv Turske osvojila brončano odličje. Ne čudi nas se što je pobjeda Australiji bila, to je 65-30 za SAD u zadnjih 20 u polufinalu izgubili od SAD-a. SAD se susreo 4 puta sa Srbijom na Kusturica, još 3 sekunde, Kusturica i to je na kraju do Bumšeja. Dugo nešto od Bumše, ide sam Bumše!
A little bit of finesse.
Black pored Lukića, vraća Black, trica,
ulazi
američkoj reprezentaciji.
I like that his shot. It doesn't even look like a center shooting. It looks like, because he's big. He's a big dude. He's got like this natural rhythm shot. I like
Lukić, ide Lukić, ali onda to blokira. Priredio i letvicu koju je podigao, možda nije dohvatio, ali već ima vrhunske brojke. Eto, dok ga spominjemo, ide.
So yeah, I'm hoping that this dude Joachim Bombje, which I'm wrong, is the reason why we're investing in that 2028 pick. So try to recap or react as much as I could. I think the press is probably done by now, and it was just tough to kind of see it from my phone. But go Celtics! It's gonna be a while till we see the benefits of this trade, unless Paul George just freaking drinks from the fountain of youth and we become amazing overnight. Still think the Celtics will have a similar year than they did last year. So that's also why I'm not too hurt. They've lost in horrible fashion the times they didn't make it to the finals. So again, not gonna beat on him a lot. He did a lot of great things for Celtics, but when he was here, we lost in a lot of crazy ways. So let's give it a shot. Okay. Let's give it a shot with George and Tatum. Laters.